Now, let me talk about the concept of consumer surplus. Now, the consumer surplus is essentially defined as the what the consumers are ready to pay subtracted by what he actually pays. Which means that what a consumer will be ready to pay is equal to the marginality. Meaning that a consumer will not pay anything more than the satisfaction that he is actually deriving. So marginality minus the actual price is what is known as the consumer surplus. Now let me say, for example, plot a graph for you. On x-axis I'm taking the amount of commodity. On the y-axis I'm taking the price and marginality. Now suppose this is the demand curve of an individual. Now suppose uh, this is the price which a consumer paid for this amount of the commodity. This is the price and this is the quantity. So anything what a consumer was willing to pay was this much of the price. So if even if the commodity even if the consumer got a commodity for this amount of the price, say for example price 1, he would be willing to pay for this amount of the price. However, but he was charged only this amount of the price. So this whole triangle over here, let me name it A, B and C. So this triangle ABC represents the consumer surplus. To make it more explanatory, let me talk about let me make a table that is like the number of units. They are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now let me put up the marginality. Say for example, the marginality is the addition made to the total utility by the additional consumption of a commodity. Say for example they are 30 and it has to be falling, that is 28, then it is 26, then 24, then 22, then 20 and then 18. Let me put up the price. Let me say that the price of this commodity is 20. So the price won't change. So the consumer surplus in this case will be 30 minus 20, that is 10. It will be 8 here, 6, 4, 2 and then 0 and nothing. Now let me now see the scenario here. When the satisfaction that a consumer is deriving from additional consumption of a commodity is 30, so he is willing to pay 30. However, this is priced at only at 20, so the consumer surplus is 10. Now if this is the price of 30 and this is the price of 20, so essentially this whole here represents the price of 10, that is the consumer surplus. In the similar case, if the in the second scenario, if the additional consumption of the commodity, the marginal utility is 28, price is 20, so it will be the surplus is going to get reduced to 8. Now when the marginal utility is actually equal to the price, at this moment the consumer surplus is going to be 0, which means that if we have the graph like this, x and a y, and we have like this. So if the he is getting it at the same price, at this price, in this case there will be no consumer surplus. Now if the satisfaction is marginality is less than the price, the consumer will not buy. So whenever the marginality is less than the price, the consumer is not going to buy it, because a consumer always tries to equate the marginality and the price. We'll talk about this later in the next lectures. So what a consumer tries to do is tries to equate the marginality in the price, so he is not going to pay more for the lesser satisfaction. We can say it is not going to pay more for lesser satisfaction. So in this case, he is not going to buy this commodity because the satisfaction is less than the price.